Welcome everybody, my name is Fausto from Fausto Home Living, and welcome back. I am going to teach you how to make authentic Italian sauce, one of my mom's favorite. I'm going to show you what the secrets, I'm going to tell you the ingredients and what to put in there, and I'm telling you it's going to be one of the best dishes you ever made if you're looking to make great sauce. So don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
I would like to express my appreciation to my friends at Rienzi Foods for their support in sponsoring this video. For more information on Rienzi Foods, please visit your local grocery store to discover their wide range of products.
All right, so today we're going to learn how to make authentic Italian sauce. And here's the ingredients. We got fresh homemade Italian sauce, which you can always watch on my other video I made, how to make authentic Italian sauce. We have a carrot. We're going to have red onion, fresh Parmesan cheese, garlic, basil, salt and pepper. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take all the ingredients, we're going to chop it up and get it prepared, and we're getting ready to put it into the pot. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to take the ingredients and we're going to put it inside the pot. So how we're going to do first, we're going to get our oil nice and hot. We're going to use our olive oil. Now, I don't really recommend that you need any virgin olive oil. You could just use regular olive oil, but I always say 50% ingredients, 50% cooking. So you want to have a good dish, make sure you use really good ingredients. So as that's heating up, we're going to hop over here. We're going to get our garlic, we're going to get our onions, and then we're going to mix it in there. Once this gets a little pretty hot. You don't want to get too hot because you want to burn the garlic, and that's very important. So first what we're going to do is we're going to chop the onions. Now the onions is very important how to actually cut them. First most important thing, make sure you have a sharp knife. You don't have to go crazy about all these crazy knives, but you definitely want to have a sharp knife. And if it's not sharp, you'll undercut yourself. So we're going to cut the ends over here. We're going to cut it right down the middle. We're going to take off this excess skin that we have over here. And let's see all this stuff's coming out. I'm going to clean this off. Take out the core, because sometimes the core might have a little green in it and might give it a little bitter. It's very important how you cut it. You can see how important it is to cut with a knife. How it just literally just cuts nice and smooth with a nice sharp knife. Now to make the sauce, I would recommend a half an onion per jar. So pretty much that's all you really need to make sauce. Too much onion obviously is not necessary. Now just keep in mind, this is an Italian sauce Italians from Calabria, where I'm from, usually use more onions and more garlic. That's why we put onions in our sauce. So you got our onions ready. Now we're going to take care of the garlic. Now what we're going to do is we're going to crush the garlic. So we're going to take all this garlic. Make sure you cut the ends off. You want to smash it. Smash the garlic. Be careful you don't cut your hand when you're doing this. And then just chop it in little pieces. Take out any of the yellow pieces in the middle because it makes it a little bitter. That's all you got to do. All right, so what we're going to do is now we're going to take the ingredients that we chopped up, the garlic and the onion. Remember, you don't need too much garlic, otherwise, you're obviously not going to really make a nice, good Italian sauce. I'd probably recommend maybe 1 to 2 garlics per jar of sauce. And then remember, half an onion per jar. So we're going to be making a nice little pot. So we've probably got about 1 to 2 medium-sized onions. So we're going to dump this in here. And you can hear it starting to sizzle. Now you got to be careful because garlic burns very, very fast. So you don't want to get too hot. So if it is, just lower the heat. Flavoring that nice and good, the olive oil. Now we probably put close to, I would say maybe about 1/4 cup, maybe a half of olive oil. You pretty just want to maybe get like maybe an 1/8 of an inch to the bottom of the pot. Now you can see it's starting to turn brown. Now we want to add in our onions. Give it a little more heat. This will take about maybe 3 to 5 minutes. You just want to get them nice and soft. You don't want to overcook them, but you also don't want to make them raw. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to add in our carrot. I have a little carrot peeler right here, actually a potato. We're going to scrape it nice and little right here, little tiny pieces. Now we're not going to use the whole carrot. Some people like to put sugar in there. Some Italians like, they kind of cheat. Carrot gives a little more sweeter. I like to work a little more natural. You can cheat and put sugar in it. I don't do that. I just use a nice little carrot. Carrot, by shaving it like this way, will actually disintegrate in the sauce. All right, next we're gonna do my favorite part. We're gonna put the sauce in there. This is our homemade sauce that we make, our yearly homemade sauce. We'll pour it in. Now, I like to make a little extra sauce because, you know what? It takes time to make good sauce, and then you could always freeze it. So, you know, if you want to make sauce, try not to like just make a little bit. You could always make a little bit extra, and once it's ready, when you ever need it, put a nice little quart container, and you always have some extra sauce. All right, now what we want to do is mix it, get it to like a boil. Just be careful it doesn't splash around, but you want to put the heat on a little bit higher. You don't want to burn it. Got to be really careful with sauce. All right, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to let it get it to a boil, probably for about 30 minutes. Not too hot, but a little bit of a rumble. And once that is done, then we're going to like lower it down, put it to a low simmer, let it bubble. Now it depends on how you like your sauce. If you want one a little bit more thicker, you want to keep the cover off. If you want something a little bit more waterier, not as a very thick, what we call more of a ragu, then, you know, basically keep the top off. All right, here we got our basil. We're gonna just take some leaves off. It's always nice having fresh basil. Fresh basil really makes the sauce, makes a very big difference. Just break them in pieces, you don't have to do anything crazy. Mix it in there. Get the sauce to a nice little boil. Smell it already. It smells delicious. This is heaven right here. Oh, fresh sauce. Look at the color. Beautiful, gorgeous red. Now, obviously not everybody can make their own sauce. It is a lot of work. So what I recommend, like I said, I have the 50-50 rule. What you do is try to buy good tomatoes. California's got good tomatoes. You don't have to always have the San Marzano tomatoes from Italy. And sometimes I don't even know if they're really telling the truth or not, if they're really getting some Marzano tomatoes. But definitely try to get really good quality tomatoes. Pretty good brand. Doesn't really cost you that much. But more or less, good tomatoes make good sauce. Use cheap tomatoes, you're gonna make cheap sauce. And then you'll notice that when you do use cheap tomatoes, you're not gonna get this beautiful red color. And what happens as you're cooking it, you'll see it's gonna get darker. This will not turn dark. It'll stay that color, and it's gonna really make it a lot better. So now we just have to wait and let the magic happen by letting it sit, simmer. I would recommend maybe about an hour and a half, 2.5 hours max. Some people could cook it longer. Usually when you get to more the end, I would say like the last 30 minutes, if you have meatballs, put them in there. You don't want to put the meatballs too early because they'll absorb the sauce a little bit more. But usually like the last 30 minutes, because usually meatballs are already pre-cooked if you have them already cooked. And we're going to do a video on that too, so make sure you look at that Fausto Home Living on how to make authentic Italian meatballs. But I'll usually wait for that to the end. But as we're stirring it, we're waiting to get to a boil, and then we're going to let it simmer. All right, one last thing I forgot to add in, which is a very important ingredient. You don't have to do this, but if you ever buy fresh Parmesan cheese and you're like, what the hell do I do with this end? Look at this. It's like, yeah, you eat this, but no, actually, it is very important to have it because you take it and put this in your sauce. We'll give it a good salt, a very good, good flavor, give a little Parmesan in there. So don't throw this out. Keep it because you're going to need it because you got to put it in your sauce. One other ingredient we have to put in there, which we spoke about, is the salt and black pepper. So this is how Italians used to do it. Probably put like, I don't know, maybe a half a tablespoon of salt in here. Mix it in there. Now be very careful with the salt. You could destroy a dish with salt, but it'll taste very bland without it. So what I usually do is I'll put some salt in there, let it ferment in there as it's cooking. When I'm ready to do the Italian test at the end, which I'm going to show you, that's when you know if you're going to need more sauce. And usually you might need an assistant for that. Black pepper, be very careful with the black pepper. I would say maybe a teaspoon, or more of a teaspoon. You don't really need that much black pepper. Use the fine stuff. You don't want to use the heavy one because little kids usually go crazy like, oh, what's those black things in the sauce? And not only that, but it will make your sauce a lot darker. So another thing, you don't need too much black pepper. Taste it. When you get to the end, you could always add your salt and add your black pepper. But you can put a little bit now, and then as you're cooking it, and when you get to the end, you can always add more. Once again, up to you what your taste is. I think the sauce is absolutely perfect right now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take out that Parmesan cheese that we found, that big card where it was. We gotta go find it. We got our meatballs in there also. And there it is. You could see it almost looks so gross. Take that out. But you could see what happened, like all that Parmesan cheese is in there, so it's giving some really nice flavor. Look at the color of that, just beautiful. All right, now, here comes the best part. How do we really know that the sauce is really ready? Well, we're gonna do the Italian test. The Italian test is you get your favorite bread, break a piece, stir it in there. Perfect. Pasta's done, the sauce is done. I'm gonna give you one little tip to make a really nice, beautiful pasta dish. Go pick yourself a nice little burrata, which is mozzarella with ricotta inside of it. Drop it in the middle. Take some parsley, sprinkle it around. Get some fresh Parmesan cheese. No better than going to a restaurant than the luxury at your own home. Let's try it. See how good it is. There's nothing like fresh homemade sauce. Bon appetit. Thanks everybody for watching. My name is Fausto from Fausto Home Living. I hope you really enjoy me teach you how to make authentic Italian sauce. Just please like us, friend us, leave your comments down the bottom, and we'll see you in the next upcoming show.